With Wimbledon now just 2 weeks away, one of the greatest players of all time has given the world an insight into the mind of a champion. Roger Federer was addressing the graduating class from an American college and served up a speech, being described as a masterclass in public speaking.
In world sport, he's regarded as the GOAT, the greatest of all time. But at this college in New Hampshire, Roger Federer provided a reminder that this GOAT has the gift of the gab.
I just came here to give a speech, but I get to go home as Dr. Roger. That's a pretty nice bonus, so...
He retired in 2022, so no longer has his rackets do the talking. But just as he had crowds around the world hanging on every point, here at this graduation ceremony, the students were hanging on every word.
Like you, I've finished one big thing and I'm moving on to the next. Like you, I'm figuring out what that is. Graduates, I feel your pain. I know what it's like when people keep asking what your plan is for the rest of your life.
Draped in the college graduation garb, the 42-year-old looked and sounded every bit the part, even if he didn't feel it.
Really, you have no idea how excited I am. Keep in mind, this is literally only the second time I've ever set foot on a college campus. Second time ever.
Born in Switzerland in August 1981 to a Swiss father and South African mother, Federer was afforded use of the private tennis courts at his dad's pharmaceutical firm. Like his idol, Rod Laver, Federer would go on to excel on all surfaces. He finished his career with a staggering 20 Grand Slam singles titles, 8 Wimbledon crowns, 6 Australian Opens, 5 US Opens and a French Open. Outside of Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal, few had his measure. Among the elite few, however, Australia's John Millman.
John Millman has pulled off one of the biggest upsets in tennis history.
It was a career highlight for myself. I think it always is when you play against one of these all-time greats, and Roger is an all-time great, and managing to knock him off on the biggest of stages was pretty incredible for me.
Millman would finish his career with a 1-3 head-to-head record with Federer. His admiration for the man he conquered on that night in New York, bigger than the Big Apple itself. Or spam, as it turns out.
I remember being with him in Zurich, and after a training session, we went to the clubhouse to have our meal, and I'm thinking, what does Roger Federer eat? And I'm thinking a filet mignon, you know, some fancy steak. And no, he had his Wurstsalat, which is chopped spam with a bit of salad dressing, and he was as happy as anything.
With all due respect to John Millman, that loss might not be embedded in Federer's memory bank, unlike this one.
Wow.
For the first time, Roger's given the world an insight into his mindset that day, which stretched into the night, the 2008 Wimbledon final.
Some defeats hurt more than others. I knew I would never get another shot at 6 in a row. I lost Wimbledon, I lost my #1 ranking, and suddenly people said, he had a great run. Is this the changing of the guard?
In a career where superlatives flowed as freely as forehands, it's hard to settle on just one to encapsulate this graduation speech. Compelling comes close.
Most of the time, it's not about having a gift. It's about having grit. In tennis, a great forehand with sick racket head speed can be called a talent. But in tennis, like in life, discipline is also a talent, and so is patience. Trusting yourself is a talent.
Federer alone might yet be responsible for rewriting the golden rule that sport and politics should never mix. Some believe he's already in the mix of great speeches.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Well, may we say, God save the Queen, because nothing will save the Governor-General.
Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do.
In the 1,526 singles matches I played in my career, I won almost 80% of those matches. Now, I have a question for you. what percentage of points do you think I won in those matches? Only 54%. In other words, even top-ranked tennis players win barely more than half of the points they play.
The power of speech, arguably more powerful than any statement that Federer could make on a tennis court. And no sooner had he become Dr. Roger Federer, he prescribed a tonic for a long and happy life.
From one graduate to another, I can't wait to see what you all do next. Whatever game you choose, give it your best, go for your shots, play free, try everything, and most of all, be kind to one another, and have fun out there.
What terrific advice. Roger Federer, as classy off-court as on, and he also looks like a nice fella. So many sports stars struggle to adjust after they retire, but I reckon Roger will manage just fine.